And here's what's happening at Ewetopia Farms today.
Last night I gave him second cut of hay and he liked it. So.
Right now, they're just out here for fun. Today we're going to see who's pregnant and who's not. And you don't want to pressure them until their heads are facing forward. Let's get started. We're just working on morning chores. Arnie's feeding the creep feed to the youngest lambs here. That's Gimpy taking his mouthfuls of creep feed too. See, Gimpy's eating. Little Gimpy.
I hope he is.
Hi, little Gimpy. Look, he's chewing on it. You're doing a great job, honey.
Last night I gave him second cut of hay and he liked it.
Come on, don't drink that dirty water. You got really nice water in the pan. Come on, buddies. This is the reason we don't prefer our wrapped hay in the fields, because this is what happens. It tears up your fields when the weather is mucky in the spring and winter. And that was our initial problem with the tube wrapping. So, I don't know, somehow you got to deal with that mud. And it's not a good thing either. But these guys, it's still cold here, even though it's the end of April. But the grass is starting to get a little tint. There's no grazing out here for them yet. If you put sheep out here to graze when it's this short, you won't have any pastures left by the summer. So right now, they're just out here for fun. And some of these big grams are going to be coming off shortly, so helps them get used to being away from mommy. Still not 100 days yet on any of these guys. Hi. What do you think over here? This is really their first time here, so they're gonna have to get used to this field. Hi. Does this look like a good spot? Oh, yes, it does. Hi. Are they all back there? What are they doing?
I closed the other gate so they have to...
Oh, they'll come back. Are you here on your own? Where did everyone go? Oh my goodness. They're heading back. We got 4 over here again. Here comes another. Oh, here they come. They can't stand it. Aren't you a pretty girl? Look at her. I love those ears. They chickened out on the new field, so they're back running around in the dirt. Why are you guys running around in the dirt when you got a whole beautiful paddock to play in? Just wandering around, living the good life. Isn't she spectacular? So yes, you're dealing with an amateur here. For some reason, this is the second time my microphone hasn't worked, and I haven't noticed it until I got to the editing stage. So hopefully I'm going to get this ironed out shortly. You know me in tech. But what's happening now is this afternoon, we've come out to the barn and we're having an exodus of sheep. So at the moment, we've gone into the main barn and taken out all the ewes that lost their lambs or that may still be pregnant. And we're going to sort through them. We're going to feel their udders to see if they have udders. If they don't have any udders, we're going to put them into the yearling replacement ewe group, and they're going to be moved to the coveralls. And later on, we're going to sort through those ewes again to see if any of those are cull ewes. But at the moment, we just want to see and sort out who's pregnant and who's not. So what we're doing here is we're gathering up just a few sheep at a time so that Arnie can catch them easily and check their udders. This Dorset here, we know she's not pregnant because she's actually an escapee who hopped over to the other group. And that other one has marks on her back indicating that she had lost her lamb. So we know that she's open. However, this one here with the purple dot, she's been in here and hasn't had lambs, so we need to check her out. So he feels the udder. The problem with feeling udders on sheep who have been in a breeding group for like 6 months eating prime feed is that they can get kind of like a fatty udder. So you have to feel carefully to see if it's an udder that's producing milk, or is it an udder that's caused by overeating for the winter. Now he's moved into the next area where he's got a Dorset ewe trapped. He's going to do the same thing with her. So after a careful inspection, Arnie thought that perhaps these two may have an udder still forming. And it is possible that these sheep could lamb as late as June 1st. So better to be safe than sorry. Of course, we want to be as careful as when we handle them as possible, just in case they are pregnant. We don't want to get them all excited and stressed out. So we're trying to do things as quietly as possible. And those two, he figures, are open. So they're joining the open girls. They're still like, if they were pregnant, they could technically still be like a month and a half away. So usually at that point they will be showing udders if they're pregnant, but not always. So you have to be really careful. He just let that one out. He figured was open, and he's trying to lure another one into the pen to give her a check. This one we know for a fact is open because, again, she's got the mark on her that said that she has lost her lambs for whatever reason during the breeding season. And this ewe we're unsure of, so he's going to give her a check. So these are the ewes that we still feel may have lambs in them. So we're gonna put them into the back pen here and just keep an eye on them. One of them definitely has a really big udder and she's gonna have lambs imminently. And the other 3 look very dubious. So they're gonna go back here. We were gonna put them in with the mom with the 2 little lambs, but as we've been sorting them right now, this group of sheep was really squirrely. So now we're over at the ram coverall. I'm just gonna put this gate up here at the end of the feeder in case any of these rams get any wild ideas about having some fun and running up and down the feeder. And we're gonna bring the young rams over first. These would be the just turning a year old now. And we'll try get them over to the coverall and they're gonna go where the ewes were. And as I was saying earlier, we decided not to put those 4 ewes in with the mom with the 2 lambs because they're acting so wild. We were actually afraid that they might trample the 2 little babies that we've worked so hard on and that are so cute. So we decided to be safe, better to be safe than sorry again, and keep the pregnant ones in one pen and keep the mom with her babies in another. These guys are going to be leaving this barn. They've been here a long time and they've never been to the main barn before, except when they were born over a year ago. So they may be a little harder to move over there. We'll see. Okay, all of the young boys are out and we'll see how nicely they move across the yard. The best thing when you're moving sheep is slow and steady and not to get too close to them. If you're really close up to them, it can often freak them out even if they know you, and it puts too much pressure on them and they'll decide that maybe they should try a breakaway. So keep your distance a little bit, walk them up slowly as possible. Slow and steady is the best, but if they stop, just give them time to think about it. You definitely don't want to start pressuring them until their heads are facing forward. If they're turning around and looking back at you, that's when they're going to think about having a challenge and taking you on and trying to deke around you. So if they turn around and look back at you, just stop. Stay where you are, like this guy here, you see? He's looking back. He sees Arnie up ahead and he doesn't know if it would be safer to turn around and run back and get by me or go by Arnie. And they're in a strange area right now. See all the faces turning back at me? You don't want that. There we go. See how they've turned their heads? Just me standing here is a form of pressure, but as long as it's gentle pressure, they will usually say, okay, move forward, and they'll move forward. If you were to run in and maybe tap them or start banging and yelling, jumping and yelling, that's when they are more likely to freak out. And they're in a kind of tight spot here, and like I say, it's a new area for them. So they're really, really seriously considering deking back. And once they do run back and they get to the barn, guaranteed all the others will follow. And then getting them to move forward again, once they've realized that, yes, there are escape routes, it's much more difficult. So better to get it right the first time, if at all possible. And we don't have the dogs with us right now because the neighbor across the road is fencing and he's got his 2 untrained house dogs out there, and we figured that just was going to be a disaster in the making. So the dogs are not here today helping. And same when they're going into a new building. They see it's strange. Give them a chance to look in the area they're going first. Don't pressure them. The good thing about this barn is there's sheep in the barn and they're buying, and that's a lure for them, especially with boys, because there's some girls calling to them in there. That didn't go too bad for their first time across the yard and into a new barn. And it gives us a chance to look at our yearling rams, most of which will be up for sale to customers this year as breeding stock rams. But you see all those ewes there are a really good lure to call those rams into the barn. And right now we're putting the young rams on one side and the older rams are going to go on the other side. Okay, now it's getting all the yearling ewes and the ones we took out that had lost lambs out of this barn and do the reverse procedure. We're going to get all these girls to run over to the Coveralls. And they're all really, really excited today. I don't know. Like usually they do move really quietly, but the girls, the boys were really good. But these girls, I think they saw the other ones when we were checking udders and stuff being really squirrely and wild. And so, yeah, being sheep, they copy. So they're really pumped up, which is good in a way because they just walk past the open door to the paddock and were concentrating on where the group went and didn't decide to deke off that way, which would have been another ordeal. Most of these girls have moved back and forth across the yard before, so I don't anticipate any problem with this, but never say never when you're working with sheep. The thing I worry about most is the neighbor's dogs running over here right now, because that would be disastrous. But let's think positively. See, these ewe lambs recognize these coveralls because right from the time they were lambs, we always let them out to play in these yards. So all the sheep here should recognize this area of our farm.
Yeah, open it. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, you guys. Come on. Stay with the pack. Come on. Hey, hey, pay attention. Come on. Come on. There you go.
So at the moment, Arnie's outside pushing all these ewes up. I had to come in the barn ahead of him to open up all the gates so that the ewes could get in here. And he's chasing them up. A few of them broke off from the group and went over to the other coverall, so Arnie had to kind of turn them around and get them in. But they're all in now. Now it's time for the big boys to go across the yard. Arnie's in the barn and is just chasing them out, and I'm blocking this way so that they'll run over towards the main barn the same way the other ones did, because it's a little more like an alleyway over there and less chance of sheep breaking off. These boys are older, like I say, so they've done the back and forth between the barns before. So I anticipate that they will move better. Not that any of the sheep so far today have moved poorly. They were all pretty well behaved. But we have a few big guys in here that haven't been here before, like Luther and the two rams from, the two Dorset rams from out west. But yeah, and you see he's the Dorset ram from out west, Lancelot. He doesn't know this area. and these rams aren't his best buddies right now. But again, same method applies here. Slow, keep your distance from them, but be close enough that they've got pressure. Watch for where those heads are looking and let them go. In general, our old boys, the ones who know what they're doing, should start moving forward, and the others should technically follow. See, nice and slow, but it's the one from out west that keeps turning back. But there's also a fear of turning back and being the only one to run away too. Sheep are flock animals. They don't want to be away from their buddies. So there they go. Good boys. Well, the big guys did a pretty good job of moving over. I thought they would. They know the routine. It's always way easier to move older sheep that have been around the farm before. So the older rams for now are going to be on the side that goes out to the platform where we leave the door open, and they'll be free to go out and walk around the platform and enjoy the sunshine and stuff out there whenever they like. For now, we are not letting them out to pasture for some of the reasons we stated earlier, that there's really no grass whatsoever, and this is a wet paddock out by where the rams are, and we don't want them going in there, making a mess of the field and getting mud stuck between their toes, and then having to deal with the whole scald or foot rot issue. So until things dry up, they're free to go outside on a concrete platform, walk around, enjoy the fresh air and sunshine, but no grass yet. We're still in waiting mode on that. And likewise back in the Coverall, where we just brought the yearling ewes and the older ewes as well. This is their home turf, so they're going to be happy to be here, and the Coveralls are always so nice and bright, so they're not as crowded here. They got more fresh air. Well, the chutes are set up here so we can get them dewormed and ready to go outdoors. Arnie's just putting some fresh hay out for them now. But like I say, they'll be happy to see that they can all have a space without having to wait their turn to get to the feeder. And shortly, they're going to get sheared. And once they're sheared and dewormed, we're going to open those back gates and it'll be back to pasture. And this empty pen here is going to be where we put the weaned off lambs, which we're also going to be doing really, really shortly. We'll also be able to sort the ewes out here too, to see which ones are going to stay and which ones are going to go. But I think it went pretty well today.
So, got them on, and I'll tell you why we put them on. So, we put the tires on. Not because they give us more traction. We put the tires on to get more flotation on the ground, so more inches of that tractor weight on the ground. So that tractor weighs 6 tons. We're putting the weight on more ground level, so it's not compacting the soil. So our soil is definitely not light soil. It packs quite easily. And there's no calcium in these tires. These tires only have air in them. So I'm just trying to get the weight of that tractor on more surface of the ground for less compaction. And it is a 4-wheel drive. That tractor, with only the 2 tires on it, will pull it'll never get stuck. And with the duals, you'll never get stuck. Even if you spin out in a field right now, you can unhook your cultivator and that tractor will come right out. Or even pick up the machine and that tractor will come right out. I've never been stuck in my life with that tractor. So no calcium, just air. But I'm trying to get enough flotation on the ground to not compact the soil. So that's the reason why we run duals. Really don't have to run duals in that tractor, but it's just about compaction. So we're doing that today. And this tire here is a little low in air. So we're just blowing it up. It's lost a little bit of air in the winter time. Hopefully it's not a leak. And I've greased it all up. I'm hopefully going to wash it off a little bit in the back. And we fixed, the air conditioner has been propped up. It's all got brand new fuel filler, brand new oil fillers, 2 brand new filters underneath. We've changed the oil and it's all ready to go, hopefully. We put brand new tires on it last spring. They're in good shape yet. Greased the front end all up and I think she's ready to go. So I'm just getting the setup now, and then we'll get out this and get it checked over. There, one set on. I'm gonna move that block over to that tire, brings the tractor up a little bit. Easier to get that tire on. So I've got one on, one more to go. And they are the easy attach. Just snap them on. Check the air in that tire. I'm not sure about that. But just getting them ready. They get on the fields. So today we're moving sheep. I mentioned this a few days ago and we finally got it done today, and I'll show you what happened. So this is our old original coverall. It's actually the longest one we have. And so we moved all these replacement lambs. And there's a few ewes in here, see the X, that had some lambing birthing problems. They're in here too. And I thought we'd have lots of room in the manger, but we're still filled up. But there's enough room for everybody to eat. Because the problem in the other barn was we had an 80-foot feeder, and this feeder is 130 feet long. And it's still filled up. So these are the replacement lambs. There's a few call ewes in here. And they're going to be showing off in 14 days. And then we might de-lice them in case they have any lice. We're going to deworm them before they go to the field. Because these lambs have never been dewormed. And then hopefully, if you look at the field, we should have in 2 weeks loss of grass, and they're going to head to the pastures. That all went today. Didn't go too bad. I think Lynn had it on film, but she had no volume on, so she's a little bit ticked with that. But hopefully she sorts that out. So I'll show you what it looks like. So it's still filled up. I'm thinking there could be 120, 130 sheep in this one side. So they're actually filling the whole side right up. 130 feet long feeder.
Well, sorry about the video quality again. I really am an amateur. But hopefully it turned out okay and that you actually enjoyed it. And if you did, give me a thumbs up. Because, yeah, I'm still learning. What do I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Anyway, catch you in the next one. Bye.